All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to tell you guys about our experience watching Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is the fourth movie. After watching this, we definitely know that we are, this is far from the ending of this series. It's definitely what we got from the impressions of this. But anyways, let's get into the things that we first. Okay, well, pretty much it's been many generations. Well, we did call this before the movie. Yeah,
spoilers.
of course, always spoilers for this channel. Please understand that. But pretty much before we even started the movie, I told Chris, I said it's probably going to open up with the text with them telling us time has progressed.
Like every one of them does.
You know, like every one of them kind of does. This one is many generations later.
Yeah, my guess was 20 years, but...
No, so of course there is no more Caesar. At least at this time, there's no more Caesar. So we don't have anything like him anymore. We're introduced to Noah, who is a new character, and we're kind of introduced to like his new community since it's been so many generations. The humans are gone now, or like the only humans we see are like, they are the animals. They truly do look like any ordinary animal that's like running around. So tragedy has to happen in all of these movies. So essentially Noah ends up grabbing an egg. They do a ceremony.
His dad's
so pretty much Noah's dad is like the eagle leader. So anyway, they bring it back. On their way back, a blanket is stolen from their horse, and then they chase after one of the humans, which they call echoes. They're scared of them because they're like, they don't know what they are, you know, so that they end up leaving. But the smell of the echo is on the blanket. And then out of nowhere, the echo at night, like later on at night, the night before the ceremony, the echo ends up breaking the egg. Like somehow they find their way into the village and they break the egg. So he has to go find another one late at night. And you already know when this stuff happens, some bullshit's gonna ensue. On the way, you know, Noah ends up seeing other monkeys getting killed by who? Other monkeys. And this pretty much just tells us from the beginning, it is ape killing ape. From the straight up, like that's what it is. This other village of monkeys come in, they're like warriors or something. This really sucks because it was such like they were really dragging out the destruction of his clan from the horse. So pretty much Noah runs into them and the horse has to be left behind. And the horse is what gives him away. Yeah, that really sucks because as soon as when they like prodded it with like an electrical little stinger, the horse obviously runs its way back home. I did like the tension, how it started off, because I already felt bad. I was like, damn, I was like, you already screwed them. You're not gonna make it in time. You already know it. Like it's such a shitty buildup because you're like, there's no way this monkey's gonna outrun a horse and all these other horses getting there. So of course he goes there. It's all getting burned down. I mean,
I think they were just getting captured.
Taken away and forced to
well, some of them probably did die.
Yeah, I feel like the ones who, I mean, there was stuff getting burned down, and you know, I'm just like, damn, it's like Koba's crew was here. Like that's pretty much what it looked like. Was Koba's crew was here, even though he's not in this timeline because it's many generations later. But we don't get really introduced that well to the dad. So when the dad is killed in the way that he is,
hey, but at least he fought for his dad.
He fought though. Good fighting scene.
Yeah, he didn't just sit there and watch his dad get, you know.
You know what? I will give Noah that. Like at first, his dad told him, "Nah, you kind of like stay quiet," and then like Noah was like, "Nah, I'm not just gonna let this big, huge gorilla." Once again, the gorillas are always like Donkey, the big like all of them. They're always like the bodyguards or the henchmen or whatnot. Noah ends up fighting them, and the dad and him end up fighting the gorilla. But the gorilla ends up getting the better of him and he kills his dad and he dies. The dad dies, as we learn, but you know, it's just tragedy in the beginning. So we're so used to it by this point. Because I think
how they take over each other's clans is killing the leader so that they don't have a leader, and then
you're my leader now. We're just gonna take all you people. So of course the clan is captured. But at this point, I didn't know that the clan was captured. I was just thinking they just took him and killed him. I was expecting Noah to be on his complete own journey, figure himself out, but he's really going back to get the clan. So like I was like, oh okay, I didn't know y'all were. I thought they were just wiping him out. But anyway, we learned this later that it's they're bringing him to a kingdom, hence the name Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. But his kingdom of Proximus is Caesar's kingdom. But we'll get to him in a second. We end up running into Raka. It's pretty much like the funniest character in the entire movie, the most enduring character.
He is ugly as fuck.
Oh, once again, and why is that? What is he? Yeah, and you're just scared of them.
Maurice wasn't necessarily.
I asked you this. in the theater.
Know.
I said, "Who
he's
do you
just
prefer?"
scary. He's just really scary looking. Like
Maurice you just are orangutangist. You just cannot look at him.
No, I've seen a cute orangutan before. Okay,
but if it's an orangutan with the name, you ain't messing with him.
I mean, Maurice wasn't that ugly.
But you think Rocco was uglier?
Yeah, Rocco is uglier. Okay. By far, yeah.
But he's pretty much
the chain, like it's just giving dirty.
Not
dirty,
the chain.
Dirty, dusty.
You mean the symbol of Caesar's people?
His window, and that's what's so crazy because like the fact that we know that like that's from his window because he was seeing the world.
And that's like,
like,
that's crazy.
crazy.
That's such a crazy Easter egg. Love that is brought all the way back here. But yes, he is one of the surviving, pretty much the only surviving member of like Caesar's clan or Caesar's people that follow his ways. Ape no kill ape, ape no kill human. Ape just want peace, ape together strong. You know. And I like how that's been flipped in this movie, Ape Together Strong. But he runs into Noah and he begins to teach him, you know, the ways of Caesar. Because Noah doesn't...
Well, Noah actually falls through, you know.
Falls into a trap. And then Waka, you know, thinks he's like one of the hunter ape people. Yeah, because he has one of the electrical plotters. But he ends up teaching him the ways of Caesar and Caesar's people and things of that nature. Like how it really was. Kind of like a recap of the first 3 movies, honestly. Or a recap of like how Caesar's story was. He ends up shit-talking humans, thinking like, way back then they were, you know, they were dumb and they could barely do much, so we had to help them. And it was a funny moment because we were just laughing like, little do you know, we.
But he did say that. He said there used to be mounts and thousands of them. Like, in that mall that he was in, like, going up an escalator, or I think it was a mall. It could be like a museum.
I think it was a mall or maybe like an airport, something like that. But throughout this, he's followed. We realize that Noah is being followed by an echo, by a human. And then when they camp together, this human finally reveals themselves because Waka's like, oh, stop trying to fight him.
Lying, per usual.
You know, we'll get to that. That's a just lying, blatantly lying. But the human and Waka throws some food out to her, and then Waka ends up naming her Nova, and then pretty much like what I think is the funniest part of the film. You know, he's like, oh, we name them all Nova. We don't really know why.
Yeah. And it was from the bad ape that literally was just like, oh, look, keep it. You're Nova.
Exactly.
And it was so insignificant. Like,
but it just carries. It's like, wow, y'all couldn't have thought of any other name. We're just all gonna name all these humans Nova. But okay, I guess we're just gonna do that. She's not talking, obviously. She's like a human, and so when they end up running to other humans, they look like animals who are just like drinking from the, you know, same water as you know, just like zebras. Essentially, Noah was gonna drop her off, which I think is funny. He's like, okay, here's other humans. I gotta go and do my own thing.
She's with her people now.
She's with her people now, yeah. Even though she's dressed like normally, or a little bit normally.
Because right when I saw her, I was like, why do you have jeans on?
Exactly, she has jeans and a t-shirt. Then we see other humans. They look like Tarzan. You know,
I could tell him.
You know, you can see a little bit of this kind of a reflection of how Caesar was when he was first introduced to his other people in the monkey cage. He was wearing clothes. He sticks out. Why do you stick out? There's something different about you. We don't know that yet with her. We just think she's, you know, just a normal human. Right when Noah's about to leave and Rocca's actually about to leave, like he's like, okay, you can teach these humans how to be like Caesar and whatnot and follow their ways. I'm like, okay, is it just going to be Noah's story? No. Then these warrior apes again show up and they start prodding the humans. They knock them over with
they don't even
horses.
because I think they know if you electrocute, we're gonna die. Like with what you're electrocuting a monkey with, like we're gonna die. So they just started attacking
and the humans are running around like animals, of course, because they can't really, you know, they can't yell or scream. They just run without saying anything. But Nova ends up running into like a field.
It's because they're trying to find May anyway.
Exactly, yeah, and Nova, and so she ends up being inside of like a forest, or not a forest, but she's in like the tall grass, and she's being chased after them, and then she sees Noah like beginning to leave, and in that moment is a good reflection of Caesar when he says no. Nova ends up yelling out like Noah, like she yells out his name. So that's her first time like talking, and then he's like, oh, okay, you know, like, come on, I'll save you, you know, like essentially I'll save you, you know, because why not, you know. You can tell that Noah's starting to come around to humans, even though,
because he's just like, oh, like her people are kind of destroyed like how mine are.
Exactly. So. He sees it differently. He's like, I'm not completely like with Caesar's visions, because it's not like I really know humans, but monkeys messed up what I had, so why am I just gonna be all for apes? Because they literally took everything from me for no reason at all whatsoever. Yeah, just kill. Like I said, monkey on monkey crime. That's what happens a lot in this one. But what pretty much becomes the twist is when they save her, she's just like, yeah, I have a name. My name's May. And then she just starts talking normally. And that's kind of what really changes our perception of her, because it's like, you lied, you hid this from us, and that kind of theme runs itself through the rest of the movie. But she did say her mom told
her not to speak because it's too dangerous, because you would be seen as an intelligent species then.
Absolutely. Where did you come from? You know, it is a good.
But I already knew she could speak. Like
I said, you just dress differently. It's like, I don't know, you know, you choose when you want to speak. truly that's what was happening. But they end up working together, and then she brings them to the kingdom where we run into Proximus Caesar, which in my...
And before we get into Proximus, this is the elephant in the room that...
Oh yeah, we do have to address this problem.
I hope someone does have the answer to this, so that
yes, put it in the comments. This is when we need to ask
I just know, but I just want to know, obviously, if you've seen this movie and you've seen it all the way to the end. If you haven't, then you can't answer this. But closer to the end, she basically says, I needed to find you in order to pretty much complete the plan.
Yeah, complete the mission. She's on a mission, is what we learn.
I just want to know, why did she need him? I'm just trying to figure out why she needed Noah for that. That's all
exactly.
I want to know.
All right then, Zay in the booth here. First time we have Zay in the booth on the actual report card, but just wanted to come in here and explain this for you guys real quick. Got some answers on this. So it turns out that the whole reason why she actually ended up saying that she knew, or she had to find Noah in particular, we kind of missed this. We had to actually go back and see some articles and some breakdowns of it, because it was a bit ambiguous of what was going on. But she pretty much explains that she had to follow him because she knew that she needed to go to the vault where Proximus Caesar is going to be at, and she also saw that that's where he took Noah's clan. And so now that I'm sitting back and I'm realizing this now, I'm like, damn, I don't know why I couldn't have seen that. We definitely went on a whole tangent about why the movie got the rating that it did because of this one part. It was a bit ambiguous, but I just thought that I would throw this in here now and make sure that I cleaned up a bit of our confusion. That way you guys were on the same page as us. But yeah, that's what we interpreted from it. Once again, if we got anything wrong, or if you got a different interpretation of how that movie went, definitely let us know. But yeah, anyway, Zay in the booth, out.
But we finally get to the kingdom, is where Noah ends up running into the rest of his clan. And like I said, like a reflection of war, or not like a reflection, but it is like a complete opposite. Like he's people thought he was dead, so it's like, okay, you're here, like his girl's here. But anyways, they end up running into the kingdom of the Planet of the Apes that's ran by Proximus Caesar. So this is when Caesar's ideals are completely broken into two halves, as we see. One of them was just pretty much trying to find peace for apes, and that's what Raka was trying to preach, and things of that nature. And by the way, Raka dies.
Well, yeah, he gets captured, and then in their capture, Raka died.
Yeah.
And guys, I
did not see that coming.
I knew. The thing is, I did not believe he was dead. So literally, when he died, I was like, "Oh, he'll be all right."
Yeah, we thought he would return,
some dirt off.
but he was gone.
No, he never comes back.
So if you're a Raka fan,
he gets halfway through.
He gets halfway through. So that's pretty much it.
When he dies, how they all die.
The foreshadowing getting washed away, and May was there because of it, just like she was because of it at the end.
Because he's trying to save her.
Because he's trying to save her.
But at the end though, she wasn't trying to save them. She was just trying.
This is all over the place.
Have it.
With Raka's, since he's one of the surviving members of Caesar, he wants to keep the peace between humans and apes. Proximus Caesar is the complete opposite. I want the advancement of apes, and you can't trust humans at all whatsoever. So I did like his initial motive of why he wanted to get into this vault. It's this big vault that he built a beach. Well, it's a vault on the beach.
It's really a building.
It's really a building that he kind of built like a kingdom around on the beachfront, and he's trying to get inside because he knows that there's human secrets in there. And as May, more knowledge. He wants to get more knowledge. He wants to advance apes, which I can't really fault him for, because it's been so many generations and you haven't seen humans. Why wouldn't you want to keep getting more intelligent for your own species? So that's when we run into the other human that is in this movie, which is Trevathan, which is pretty much we learn he just reads him ancient history.
So I saw a comment today.
Okay, what was it about?
And it was basically saying that Trevathan, it's like a parallel because he reads him ancient history. So he reads him Julius Caesar. He reads him that civilization. Is Julius Caesar Roman?
Yeah.
Okay, so he reads him that, and so that is why Proximus thinks that's Caesar.
Oh, he doesn't think he's the actual Caesar.
Yeah, he doesn't. So he's thinking he's this almighty, and now I don't know if he thinks it's an ape or not. I do not know, but he thinks Caesar is Julius Caesar, not Caesar how we know him. So that's why at the beginning they're for Caesar, because because it's like, I am not
But
good.
he does take Apes Together Strong when they were on the beach.
Yeah.
He was having them chant that.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like this is the first
But
time
he
I've
was
heard
just
that.
doing that to gaslight them so that they work hard to open that.
Yeah, I feel it's okay. So yeah.
Yeah, but when they said that, I was like, I get it, because that's why he wants to keep getting read. Because why would you want to keep a human to read to you whenever it's like you'll probably learn how to do it on your own. But it's like he has him read those books because that's the ruler he wants to be. He wants to be Julius Caesar, not our Caesar.
Gotcha. But he is trying to get into this vault, and this is when I was like, okay, we're picking back up to something really, really important now. But it did make me appreciate the building up to getting where we are, because at least now I know who everyone is. We didn't just rush and get to the beach and be like, okay, here's just main protagonist with other ape and human. No, it was like, okay, it's just Noah and the human, because we're so used to seeing Caesar with a couple of other apes and a human or something like that. No, it's actually Noah and a human who could talk, who are actually trying to figure this out. So Vathan's trying to convince May, no, give up, this is the new age, which I did like. She's like, no, we need to get back to the way things were, and he's like,
she really already shows kind of her colors.
True colors
already.
right then and there.
Because she's just like, no, like, you think these apes should be taking over like our world, something that we created, and it's like.
And then when they have a dinner scene, that's when
she told me nothing.
Exactly, and that's when Proximus is like, hey, Noah, come over here. You really gonna listen to her? You really don't trust them. I can see you're really smart. Or he's thinking on his own, he's starting to make his own decision. He's like, do I really want this, or do I just want to be trapped? But not gonna lie to you guys, this is when I was like, okay, a little bit of a lameness here that took me out of it a little bit. When Proximus kind of like lets him go a bit, or he lets him like free roam, and like, you're still gonna work for me like the other monkeys, but know that you're smart and don't trust the human. This is when Noah's like, I just gotta start to believe it, and I really am just one of these other monkeys, and it is Proximus. And then the eagle kind of shows him the eagle son, like the eagle kind of like comes back, who's been following him.
The one that basically had the same dad. They look at it as they had the same
dad. He pretty much
they value them so much. Like like he said, we treat them as equals, not as
exactly.
another.
Yeah, and Noah looks at the eagle, kind of following him, is like, you're mocking me, you're making fun of me because I'm not like my dad. And then, but he kind of has that coming of age moment, I guess, where he's like,
that's not right.
Yeah, that's not right for me to, it's not right for what's going on, and I can do better than this.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, Proximus, you are trapping these people. Why, if you truly want apes together to be strong and let's build this kingdom, why don't you propose these things and have different clans?
You're doing it forcefully. You're literally taking people from their clans to make a kingdom, and for you to explain it to Noah that way, all it does is make you seem more tyrannical.
That's why Noah literally said, he goes, what do you see? And he said, I see a bunch of stolen clans. And he said, well, I see a kingdom.
Perspective. Hey, how they see it. He views it as, you don't understand it. I have to make it this way because this is how it needs to be for me. And Noah's like, but you're taking all these other apes from different places. But yeah.
And hurting them in the process to do so. You're using force to do so.
Yeah, and I feel like that innocence in Noah is preyed on by May. Because May uses that as a reason to be like, I can get us in there. I can get us in the vault. And he can't, and I'm going to make sure that Proximus isn't going to get in this vault. So they end up, they have like a heart-to-heart talk, kind of like where Noah has to
jump scare.
Where Noah has to like talk to May and be like, why did you hide this from me? This information, and what's in there. And that's when May tells him it's a special book. And really, because she's hiding information, she's really not telling him everything. Even he's like, tell me more. She's like, no, there's only so much I really can tell you. That really tells you kind of how secretive she's staying.
Remember, he was like, I want to see if you're telling the truth. I'm going to ask you some questions, and that'll determine if I help you or not. But she never answered the truth.
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, dang, you're just too nice. Like, you gotta prod her a little bit more in terms of getting the answer. Why do you need this book? But she does tell him the truth, which is it's a book that's going to be able to bring...
That's not the truth, though.
Yeah, it's a book that'll be able to bring the humans' voices back. And then he asks, a book can do that. And then she's like, yeah, like it can try, like it can. So, essentially, why not try? And so that's a moment for him as an ape to realize, do I want this or do I not want this? Do I want the humans to have their voices back or not? And so...
But then it's also, you gotta look at it from the other, if you flip the script, the thing is, we already know humans wouldn't do that for them. We've already seen it, right?
Yeah,
but it's like, he's always thinking like, okay, my clan was stolen, her clan was stolen, we're in the same boat. And it's like, if I could get my voice back, like how we're used to speaking now, then it's like, if I could eventually help them get their voices back, why wouldn't I?
She ends up opening the vault, so we get in there, and then we end up getting the book, which is like a hard drive that's inside of a computer. And of course, it's all built by humans. So but it does have tanks, and then it has guns. And she ends up taking a gun. She realizes that once she saw the guns, her human instinct kicked in. She was like, I need to be strapped up.
I mean, I would too. You're around a bunch of monkeys.
Exactly, pretty much. And then,
Trevathan
gets killed. Yeah, Trevathan gets killed, so he ends up trying to prevent her. He's like, you could have had a good life here. He's like, you had to ruin it. And she ends up choking out.
They're going to skin your monkey.
Yeah, they're going to skin your monkey alive, and then she ends up putting him to sleep. Just chokes him out right there. Also showed her true colors.
And
She's
it's like
a killer.
Trevathan, like, damn, like, you went out.
Then they tossed him in the water, and we just never hear from him again. So that's just what happens.
That's Trevathan's story.
That's Trevathan's story, pretty much what happens. But she ends up opening the door, and then on the other side is, of course, Proximus, and he got what he wanted. He's like, you're going to help me open this door, and you did, and he calls Noah a smart monkey. He's like, you really are smart because you got to open up this door. And this is where the lines are crossed because
she shoots him.
She shoots. Yeah, May shoots.
But he was about to hurt Suna.
Yeah, that is true. Suna was about to get cut up, who is Noah's girl, and May ends up shooting the monkey. And then when Proximus sees that, he's like, hey, I'll let you go. You leave. You do your thing, whatever. But you got any more of them guns back there? And when he said that,
yeah, he said, "Are there more of those things?"
Because he saw that, because he really didn't feel bad for the monkey. He was like, "Hey, I kind of like what that was. That seemed quick, easy, and effective to just kill like that. I need that." But she sees that and goes, "I can't have that happen." And so, what does she end up doing next?
She just blew up. Yeah, and you know what? I feel for Noah. I'm just like, I understand because this man is using brutality to get what he needs. But it's like, it's kind of giving a donkey situation. Like, would you turn on your own people to get further, But I know ultimately you are just thinking so small in terms of, I just want my clan to go back to how we were. But he doesn't realize the big aspect of it. Like, Proximus kind of knows humans were horrible at one point. They had us in cages.
Yeah.
We were not free. We're free roaming right now. This literally is like our planet.
This is our kingdom. This is our planet. And with the cages thing, how interesting it is that when May was going to find the book, she was going to find the book for humans to bring their voices back. Noah and Suna and
she was going to get the
Anaya. Yeah, she was going to get the information or the book, like I said, the hard drive that she was going to get. But the monkeys, they were seeing the children's books inside the bunker or the place that it was. And then they saw a zoo book of them inside of cages. And so they look at it.
It was actually an ABC book.
Or an ABC book, but they pretty much see what they used to be, which is, we used to be in cages. And it was the humans on the outside looking and pointing at us like we're
taking photos.
So do we want to go back there?
Because imagine to them, they're not animals. They are apes. Like, they're just like, oh, we're apes. Like, that's just who we are. Whereas to us, they were seen as animals. Like, we're humans. You guys are animals. You're less than us.
Exactly. So that's pretty much what we had seen from that after she drowns them out as she let all the water in. She ends up drowning them out like how Raka died. A whole bunch of other monkeys.
And she threw that man over the boat too, and that's how he died, in water. Everyone just drowned.
Yeah, Trevathan, yeah.
But Trevathan did get choked out.
Like I said, he got choked out, so it's like, he kind of deserved that. But she used them. That's pretty much what we learned, is like, at the end she had a decision to help them and not. And even Noah said, no, don't do it. And then she said, like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you're not sorry, though. You drowned him. He didn't really care. So she leaves them to be like that. Noah brings his crew, his people, up to the very, very top where they first learned to get into the actual,
place.
Where they actually got into the place. So how they came in is how they left. And then, of course, Proximus is trying to be like, hey, you'll follow me. Look what happened. And then they start humming, they start singing because they use song to communicate with the eagles, and then the eagles attack Proximus, who falls over the cliff to his death. And then the cyclical story of Noah is pretty much complete from the beginning of the story, from the beginning of the movie, which I did like, where he came across as you're the son of the leader and you're kind of proving yourself to be the next leader, to now you have defeated a great leader of Ape Kingdom and you're the leader of these people. Like, you lead them back to where they need to be. They end up rebuilding their own place, and upon rebuilding their own place, guess who shows back up? I didn't even expect her to show back up. May shows back up, and she's like, okay, so what are you gonna do now? And they end up talking about essentially like, this is what we're gonna do. But I do like how Noah told her, no, Proximus was right, I can't trust you. We can't trust you because look what you did. He asked her, do you ever think apes and humans are gonna be able to live
side by side?
Side by side. And guess, and the camera ends up showing what behind her back? A gun. Which pretty much tells you she's on this. In her mind, I still can't trust you. I'm pretty much ready to shoot him if he tries anything, but she doesn't shoot him. Instead, she just tells him, I don't know. He gives her a necklace of the window that is a symbol of Caesar's, you know, beliefs, which are, you know, as long as you can look out and see a bigger world, you can, you know, you can live and coexist with other species. He gives her that, and as she ends up learning from that, this ape is special and different from the others because look at the power he's able to bring to, it really is the power of bringing others for you for a better cause than yourself. You know, not something selfish. There's a ton of Proximuses around and Cobas, but there's not many Caesars or Noahs, ones who are willing to give up their lives to protect their people, and they truly do want harmony and peace. They end up going their separate ways, and as we learn in the very ending of the film, which is really what brings us to this Nova girl, who's May, yeah, she really wasn't just a normal human. She ends up going back to this base, and she ends up knocking on like this giant base door, and then we see a human woman who is on the other side of it in like a hazmat suit, and she takes the actual information, like I said, like a mission, like she was assumed to be on this mission, and she says thank you, you know, thank you for helping us, and then she goes back, and then we see it is a whole like base of humans downstairs who are trying to communicate with other humans. So then they end up fixing the satellite, and the satellites end up giving them communication towards other humans. And I think it's like a different base in like Indiana or something. They said it was somewhere like the Midwest, but they end up communicating and hearing other humans. So it is a, as we learn, at the end of the day, humans are going to do what they need to do to get done what they need to get done. And she proved her true colors of, I'm going to use these monkeys, I'm going to talk when I need to talk, I'm going to get this information, and if anything's going to stand in my way, I'm not going to let that be done. Even if I begin to build an emotional connection towards these monkeys, it was definitely for the benefit of herself and for humanity, because she couldn't just see humans be wiped out completely. Which is what I ultimately do like about these movies, is it does challenge you to think, if you were the apes, would you really have done any different? If you were the humans, would you have done any different? Our ranking of this movie is, it's a C. But anyways, guys, appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Thanks for joining us on this Planet of the Apes journey. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And peace out.